Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. Welcome to the Maritime SheEO session, which is titled, What Drives the Youth Towards Seafaring? And whom to ask better than the final year students of the BSc Nautical Sciences from India's largest maritime university called Indian Maritime University. So today we have with us Ekta Jha, we got Tanya Singh, we have Rohan Roy, and Navneet Kumar. Now, as I said, they are the final year students from the BSc Nautical Sciences. It means they are just about to climb the first step towards the ultimate goal out at sea, which is a master mariner. And thereon, of course, moving on to very highly responsible positions ashore. Before we start this session, I would like to, I can't resist, I have to say a few words about Sanjam. Sanjam, I'm not going to introduce her. Nobody needs her introduction. Introducing her would be like showing the lamp to the sun. So I'm not going to even try that. But she's the founder member of Vista India and board member of Vista International, as well as the member of Executive Board of Directors of the World Maritime University, Malmö, Sweden. Sanjam has won several awards, most prominent being the Sandvik Gender Award for the outstanding contribution and commitment to gender equality. She's a member of the Diversity Committee of International Chamber of Shipping. To further her commitment to diversity in maritime and logistic industry, she has launched Maritime SheEO, and that is what is the second session, year of this, and we are all together here. The first Maritime SheEO Conference, which was virtually held in November 2020, the world's biggest maritime gender equality conference ever held. There were about 1,550 plus participants from across the world. There were like more than 70 countries, featuring IMO Secretary General, India's Minister of Ports, and Norway's Minister of Foreign Affairs, plus a very strong lineup of leading executives. So in this session, ladies and gentlemen, we will listen to our leaders of tomorrow telling us what drove them to a career in seafaring. Before they do that, let me very briefly introduce them to you. Tanya Singh, Rohan Roy, Ekta, and Navneet. As I said, they are from Indian Maritime University in the final year of the Nautical Sciences. Now, Indian Maritime University is one of the largest, rather the largest university in India, and it is very ably led by Dr. Mrs. Malini Shankar, IAS retired, as its Vice Chancellor. Earlier, you heard Dr. Malini Shankar on this forum. Let me start with you, Tanya. Tell us something about yourself. I mean, little bit about your life, your studies, experiences, what inspires you in life, and finally, what drove you to join Merchant Navy, to embark on this career, and who were the people who motivated you?
Thank you, sir. Greetings to one and all present here. I am Cadet Tanya Singh from Varanasi, UP, a holy city. I did my schooling from St. John's School, DLW, Varanasi. I am currently under training under the pursuing BSc Nautical Science from Indian Maritime University, and self-motivated, hardworking, and loves to explore new things and embrace challenges. My hobbies include reading, cooking, and traveling. Coming to the question, why I chose this career. From childhood only, I love exploring new things, new places, meeting new people. So I always wanted a career which revolves around traveling. So this is one of the major reasons why I get into this college, and I never wanted to do a 9 to 5 job ever. And coming to the point, what motivated me? My parents are the reason. My parents are the ones who actually motivated me for this career. Thank you.
That's amazing. I mean, you must be one of the very rare children who listen to the parents. You know, normally, my children, if I tell them to do something, they do 100% opposite. So I have to use the negative psychology. Tell them not to do something which I want them. Congratulations for that. Now, coming to you, Rohan, what is it? Tell me first about yourself, and then similar thing that I asked Tanya.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for allowing me to introduce you all and everyone. First of all, very good morning. My name is Cadet Rohan Roy. I'm born and brought up in Kolkata, a city in West Bengal, India. Currently a third-year student in Indian Maritime University, Chennai campus. I like adventurous careers a lot, so I did my own research in merchant navy and find out every career aspect. So I considered shipping as the most important and most delicate career at all. So since shipping accounts for more than 90% of the world shipping trade, and all the trade and transportation happens overseas, and it also contributes to the global economy. And I feel very proud to be a part of this evergreen and dynamic industry. So this is the reason why I joined Merchant. Thank you so much.
That's amazing. I mean, to do your own research and looking at the contribution of shipping to the global trade and the GDP growth, that's amazing. I mean, to make that decision. Let's hear from you now.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Cadet Navneet Kumar from Indian Maritime University. I did my schooling in that West Bengal, India. I am a student which helped me choose this adventurous.
Please speak a little loudly to me so that you can all hear.
As I see myself as a part of all maritime community, I am delighted to join this conference. Now coming to me, I choose this path of adventure, seeing my elder brother, who also is a graduate of this university, and currently is a third officer in Handson. Seeing him help me gain some insight about the courses and how the process goes on, which made me more curious and finally got to join this field. This is a very dynamic field as it's not once every day 9 to 5 job, it's 24/7 job on this ship. It shows vulnerability and helps break out of the chain of work. My brother has always incentivized me to join this adventurous field. Now my family has to seafaring, which itself is quite a feat to achieve and a proud moment for our family and friends. My career objective is to succeed in this great industry. Even though there was no humor in my speech, still I would like to say humor can be one of the strongest tools in a speech, especially for a choosing remark if feels correct. Signing off, Eric Navneet.
That's amazing. That's very good. I want to have. Do you have any sister or any brother? Anyone else other than the brother who is in?
Yes,
You have a sister. So out of three, and she's younger or the elder two? Younger. So the youngest sister you left at home, and your parents, and both the sons have come out at sea. And I'm sure your sister also may join you one day out at sea.
yes,
Yeah. Looking at Tanya and Ekta, why not? So fantastic. I'll come back to you. I've got a lot of questions in my mind after listening to you, Tanya, Rohan, and Navneet. Let's listen to Ekta.
Thank you, sir. Salutations to all the dignitaries and my dear friends. My name is Ekta Jha, and I feel it's my honor to be able to introduce myself to each and every one of you. And I would like to pay my heartfelt gratitude to Maritime SheEO for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I was born and raised in the metropolitan city of Uttar Pradesh, India, famous for its business parks, temples, and malls, which is Noida. My father is a businessman and my mother is a homemaker. Therefore, I was raised in a pretty liberated setting. I have a younger sibling who is now completing his education as in standard 12. Returning to myself, I completed my education at Rockwood Senior Secondary School, a private school in Noida. I have competed in a variety of sports at school, including Kho and Kabaddi at district level, as well as captaining my school's squad, which provided me great leadership experience. I like dancing a lot, be it classical or freestyle. For me, it's like expressing your views and opinions in the most artistic and beautiful way. And I have accomplished a lot in that sector over the years. On a personal level, I'm very fond of reading books and watching movies. Besides that, I'm extremely compassionate about dogs. I'm quite skilled at painting. However, I'm not professionally trained. Making live portraits of people is my area of expertise. I'm presently an undergraduate student at Indian Maritime University, Chennai, and I started here in the year 2019. I'm pursuing merchant navy training and education from here. Each day at IMU is a fresh learning experience that helps me uncover the best version of myself. I'd always wanted to challenge myself and was ready for a huge shift in my life because I had spent my whole scholastic years at the same institution. Therefore, when I was in ninth grade, I knew right then and there that I wanted to be an officer. That's where I determined and I wanted to be a seafarer so that I could have a life filled with adventure, challenges, exploration, independence, and evolution. Despite the fact that this is a male-dominated sector, my parents have always trusted me and supported me in my decisions. And they have always had my back, no matter what. And I strongly feel that family support is one of the most important components in entering a career like this. My ambition is to become a role model for other young females like myself who wish to pursue careers in this maritime sector, but are deprived of either support or lack of awareness so that they can enjoy the benefits that I described before. With this, I would like to quote the words of my ideal, Swami Vivekananda. Take risks in your life. If you win, you will lose, you will lead, but if you will lose, then you will guide. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Ita, that was fantastic. So I'm going to take some cues from your beautifully set background, and also some of the ideas which have been guiding you. You have said such important and such profound things in these 4 minutes, 3-4 minutes that you spoke. And we can have a couple of webinars on that, including on diversity, equality, inclusion, and also the support of the family. So I'm going to ask, starting with Tanya. Tanya, how important is the support from the family in things that you do? You said your parents told you to do something and you followed, right? Or it's other way around?
I think it's very important. Family plays a major role in this. Because at such times at sea also you are alone, but at the back of your mind it's there that your family is with you. So it gives you a major moral support which every individual needs.
What about you, Navneet? Do you think, of course, your brother was the role model or is the role model for you? And after he joined here, he must be coming and telling you a lot of stories about he went to this place, that place, sometimes giving some nice stories of the life out at sea and when he visits the ports. Was that something which was more of a deciding factor for you, or you really could feel happiness in his eyes which drove you to join this career?
Yes, sir. The pictures of him waving me back and the video calls. Those were the things that I was, me to join this career. But I always wanted to do the same thing, enjoy the life and adventure. There is always an adventure.
Fantastic. What about you?
So what I feel is the beauty of shipping is that we do all the major operations with our own hands. So which adds our skills to the next level, which no other fields could explore a lot as we explore. So that's a push for me to join this mission, start research upon it. And Secondly, the career perspective and career advancement paths are very clear cut, where we can view, where we can see ourselves in the next 10 years.
It's fantastic. So you feel that since there is a clarity, since you can see the ladder, and there are milestones that after a fixed number of months that you do this, then you do this in terms of exams, and then you come back and you continue to do that. So do you consider that after climbing up that ladder and reaching the end on the first floor, Tanya, so is there some other ladder after that, or that's what your ambition is, to be a master on board the ship?
As of now, I work. It's like as of now, like I'm the person who lives in the present. So it's not like I planned something very major or like that. But yeah, right now I'm very much ambitious and I just want a placement in a good company. But about future, I don't know.
But the clarity is there in terms of
Yes,
the
yes.
path. Path
Yes,
is
of
clear,
course, yes, of course.
yeah, but you require living in the present. You need to plan for the day itself and then move ahead to the next step. So Navneet, what do you think after becoming master? Any plans, or were those thoughts something which inspired you to join Merchant Navy as a stepping stone?
Yeah, I have decided to do MBA in shipping and logistics, and I decided to move up ashore and do the job because shipping life is not for everyone. Like I can't be in the ship for many days, and it's really depressing. It will be depressing somewhere.
So you mean initially for till the time you become master, you will do it happily, smilingly, and after you become master, then you will be looking for other options to do that. Yes. How important, how important is the experience on board the ship or the seafaring career experience? When you want to join shipping later in the other aspects of the ecosystem, the shipping ecosystem is quite broad. You know how I look at it, that shipping, if you're in shipping, it means you need to know about everything what is going on. Macroeconomics, geopolitics, policies of the government, etc., etc. Anything which is going to affect the supply and demand, right? You agree with me on that, sir? So, what is it which is something to take you further after becoming master? And how is that useful for you to be in this period today?
Yes, sir. So first of all, the thing is, as I also mentioned, as I also mentioned, that there are many young girls and boys that are deprived of the lack of awareness is there. They don't know about it. They in fact don't know about that Indian Navy and Merchant Navy are two different aspects of shipping. So, sir, I would like to be more in that educational field, just to educate the kids at a very primary level so that they get to know that Merchant Navy is something that they should enter. And so for me, I think I would also follow the that marine superintendent would be option for me after my master after becoming. Yes, sir.
That's good. Rohan, can you tell us some sort of, I talked about ecosystem, shipping industry. Sailing out at sea is one aspect of it. What else comes in your mind when you think about maritime, when you think about it?
So when sailing at sea, then every day is either a Sunday or every day is either a Monday. So when we are signing on, we are all living as a Sundays. So when we are working, every day is a Monday for us. So there is no need. So in the shore aspect, the entire time frame is different. Like as a 9 to 5 job. So then that pride is all over different from those sailing in the outer high seas. So there are lots of aspects after becoming master mariners. You can be a professor, you can be a marine superintendent, you can manage ships, you can be a charterer. you can be in logistics. These administrative roles are also quite exciting to explore.
Right. Administrative roles. So that's the white collar sort of thing. But when we go on board the ship, I think each one of us learns. Somebody had mentioned that you learn, you use your hands. Who had said that? You said that. That is what it is. I mean, when you go on board the ship and you start, if you are on the deck side, you still start with your chipping and you go and take soundings, you do every possible thing. If there is emergency, I've spent so many years at sea, if there is an emergency, you don't even think about departments. You don't think about, okay, deck, engine, like if the guys are pulling the rope and it's difficult, you're walking around, go there and help them.
Working in unison.
Working in unison. Even like I remember in the engine room when we used to have problems, the chief officer, second officer, they'll come down, there is an emergency, okay, fine, come on, let's do it. This is the most beautiful thing, which ashore, in my opinion, it's a bit difficult. So that starting point, being in maritime industry, that starting point being seafaring career. So where all you think you will be able to gain hands-on experience, Tanya, when you join?
So, in communication skills, it helps in building because in ship you have a multilingual crew where you meet so many different people and you work from their culture and everything. So this could be the one reason. Second,
And that could be something negative also, right? I mean, you
Yes,
don't know
yes,
different
definitely.
cultures, you have problems with the food and, you're the only
yes,
person
every
of
coin
one
has two
nationality.
sides. If it's giving you an experience, like you will face the
So you're looking at it as a positive way that you learn more about different cultures. You get better psychological perspective. How
yes,
people
you
work.
get to know about other people's perspective as well because you are in a close with a close group of people for a very long period of time.
So that helps quite a
Yes.
lot. Yeah. So Navneet, is it you look at it more from positive or negative, working with different nationalities and not having your dal roti on board the ship?
I look at it in a positive way because if I have different nationality, then I can learn their language, their culture, and there I can experience new type of foods. And
So that's not a problem at all. You're foodie. Sab chalega. Everything is fine. All right. Okay. Ekta, you mentioned about in some of your hobbies, like you enjoy cooking.
So she loves cooking.
You love cooking. You don't like cooking.
I like cooking, but it's not like my favorite food.
No. Just if you have to do, you do it. Okay. Then you don't have to worry on board the ship.
Yes.
So you love cooking. So it means on board the ship, you wouldn't mind, on
I can
a
in
day of a
numbers, I can cook everything.
festival, you can help the chief.
Yes,
cook.
yes.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic.
So I eat.
You will eat.
Yes.
So you guys will sing together, is it?
Yes.
Yes.
So you're
If
going
I
to,
get a chance
so you're going to spend 50-50, she keeps and you cook and all that.
No, I teach her.
And you'll teach her. Okay, that's good. So it's something that you mentioned by saying you will teach her. You remind me of a very old Chinese saying, which is beautiful. That don't give a fish to a man to eat. Here, man means women also. Okay, don't give just a fish. Teach him how to fish. Right? So next time she can cook. All right. Any other positives that you feel about seafaring, sea career, seafaring? Which, if you were somebody came to you for career counseling, what other things will come in your mind? Yeah.
So I think I would look at it and on a basis of independence, be it financially or socially. So because at an early age we get to know the value of finances. And sir, on a very or at a very young age, we get to know that the money is a very important aspect. And sir, this is the maritime shipping allows us to get a very nice sum of money at the starting of a very young age. So, sir, on a short level, it's not there that much. But I believe I would look at it on the major aspect while career counseling I could have given, like you get to have independence in terms of financial independence and the social.
How important it is to be financially.
So financial independence is the first key aspect why majority chooses shipping as a career, because it's very lucrative first of all, and second, sir, understanding managing personal finance at a very young age should be a skill for every individual, which show personals starts learning as a very later on. Yes, sir.
So you see, we have limited time, and there are few very important points that I will touch upon. Some of them I think Ekta mentioned when she was talking. Everything we have been talking is good. There may be some challenges. So can I ask everyone to just speak maximum 2 points per person? And they may not be your personal views, but something that you feel people in general might perceive, right? They might perceive it. So feel free. The whole idea of my asking you to say this is, please feel free to express the perceptions you think others may have. Starting from you.
So, being a sailor is never an easy job. You have to deal with the raging sea, for which you need to have a lot of courage at times. Spending long periods of time on board a ship away from land is not something a human body is always accustomed with. So this affects your mental as well as your physical health. So one must take good care of his or herself, because when you are on land, we have our family and friends who plays a major role at such situations. But on ships, everything they need to deal, like everything alone we need to do. So this would be the opposite.
Yeah. Just one follow-up question for you, Tanya. Are we really alone on board the ship? We have so many colleagues, and I know in life you just need 2 or 3 very good friends, right? So are we alone on board the ship, or it's just the way we don't try and bring people together?
I would say not every time things are in your favor. It could be like, yes, we need just one person in our lives. I agree. But it depends. It depends from crew to crew, from people to people.
Right. But the effort you're saying is that will always be there to have a team working. So what do you think, Navneet? What are the just 1 or 2 key challenges in seafaring?
Yes, sir. First is about the mental health. There is nothing more lonely or terrifying than feeling unheard. Feelings of isolation and loneliness are increasingly impacting seafarers. Living and working abroad asleep can have a positive, but where there is a lack of contact, friendship, and interaction, then seafarers report feeling alone, homesick, and depressed.
Yeah. So again, there is a very big if in whatever you said and whatever Navneet is saying. There is a very big if that if things go that way, then you will feel lonely and there will be mental health issues. That's a very serious point. The mental health part, especially in today's this COVID environment and whatever. And many companies are doing a lot of things to try and address that. But we really need to do more. I'm not saying whatever we have been doing is enough. We need to do much, much, much. One other thing that I really enjoyed it, should not use the word enjoy, really appreciate what you mentioned was you want to be a role model for the young girls, just like you have your own role models who have inspired you, continue to inspire. Starting from the very obvious question, can you name a couple of role models? And that's the first one. And second one is, what are the challenges as a woman seafarer? The perceptions are. Feel free to talk. That's why I'm saying the perceptions are, they may not be your personal ones. But we know we are all physiological very different. So there are certain areas where a lot of understanding may be required.
So he says, so first of all, the role models. So there is Captain Radhika Menon, who is the first navigating officer, obviously, captain of the merchant vessel. And so then there is Sulani Ranjana, who is the first navigating engineer. There is Niti Vajana, who is the first engineer. And Handson Taman itself, such a very modified numbers. But they all inspired me a lot for personal inspires. So coming to the challenges, there is obviously that you said that psychological and physical challenges are always there because men and women are not in the aspect of the anatomy and everything. So there are obviously the challenges like menstruation on board ships, and so maternity leave is there, and so discrimination and gender inequality is also there. So menstruation is something like obviously we have a very some girls obviously I'm not generalizing this statement. But some girls do feel very uncomfortable and inconvenient during these days. So this is a major part of some companies and stringent policy should be made of this. And so then sanitization is very important. And so disposal of that waste, the sanitary products, that should be very major concern. So as you know, Marpol is there, we cannot dispose plastic solutions, obviously. So port to port, the sanitary waste is there. So obviously, if we have female food, they're going to be having sanitary waste there. So eco-friendly products should be there on board ships by the companies itself. That should be one of the important policies. And then said there is maternity leave should be there. In fact, paid maternity leave should be there. Some of the work can be given to they can be done from the home itself. So like I would give an example of the aviation industry. So in UK, there is the paid maternity leave for 26 to 36 weeks, and the rest of the months and weeks they have 50% paid salaries of it. So we should adopt some new ideas from.
I really very much appreciate what you have said. Since morning, I have been listening in the conference. First, of course, I am also particular that we spoke, Mr. Protector. And after that, I listened to Dr. Cleopatra and a couple of other dignitaries. This issue about discrimination, this issue about equality, making sure that realizing first that there are differences and those differences will be there, right? And through that appreciation, some policies, some additional benefits, right? That support system should be in place. I 100% agree. So maybe later on I may have to request you to write a bit of paper on that. And Sanjay would be very happy to publish in the magazine. Because these points which you have mentioned, generally people are not very open about this. And I must appreciate and thank you for bringing that up. That's really, really helpful. Thank you so much. Rohan, so what do you think? What are challenges in your opinion?
Speaking about gender equality, girls should not be neglected at all. So there are many factors where they are neglected by the industry. So speaking of recruitment should be made equally, and equal importance should be given to all the women seafarers. There should not be any term for women seafarers and men seafarers. There should be a single term for seafarers where we can include everyone. And the company must lay their own safety SOPs and standard operating procedures in their company policy rules. for carrying women seafarers, they must segregate certain things like they should be uh, waste waste being labeled as medical bills, medical waste, so that they can dispose of their sanitary pads and everything. So that may help a lot.
Were you listening to this conference before this one? Did you listen to a gentleman here? I can't remember his name. He said something which is so very true, and what you said reminded me of him. He said exactly the same. Talented seafarers. That's it. It doesn't matter whether that seafarer is man or it's a woman. So far, there is a capable person. The person. That's it. And that is the most important part. And the moment we have this, if I'm reading correctly what you guys are saying. So once we have that thought process, suddenly there's a huge reservoir of workforce, right? Then everything basically changes. And then you choose the best irrespective of the gender. Right? So anything else you would like to talk about in terms of the challenges?
The challenges are many, but I would like to emphasize more on the menstruation part because it's an overlooked issue for long back. They should remain unaddressed in the programming policy. In ships, female cadets used to work for long hours in spite of the pain as well as the cramps. And although we girls, we are dealing with from quite a young age, but still, I feel they should provide it with some leeway, at least on the heavy days.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I do understand it. My wife is a doctor, and my daughter is very open, and she goes through one of these very heavy pain that periods are very heavy. So that is the time I start to think that if she was on board the ship, and those 3-4 days are very difficult for her. And luckily now she can work from home, doesn't have to go to the office in London. But it's not an easy matter. And it's difficult for men to understand. We are fathers, we are brothers, we are husbands, but we are not the person who is going through that. So that appreciation cannot be 100%. I fully agree with you. But then knowing it, and then we also have our female who are in the top positions. I think they must take a positive step forward and work on that. Navneet, anything else? How is your? Let me ask you a question, because what you said about both the brothers are out at sea. How are your parents taking it?
My parents are very happy that one day we are going to become captain and they are going to sit and see Captain Abhijit and Captain Martin basically here like that.
Okay. I thought they're happy that 2 troublemakers are out of the house.
Yeah, that's
No, I don't think so. You guys are so cute, so that's okay. Anything else you would like to add on to that, Ekta?
Sir, I would sum up by saying that sir, these female specifications are one of the main reasons that most of the girl cadets are not coming. Girls are not coming into this industry, especially the on board ship industry. So as you, I would quote an application of this. So there are only 1.2% of female seafarers all around the world, which is
How much?
1.2%.
That seems to be 1.2% only. Oh yeah, that's right. I heard someone said there's 17%, but that's in Norway, including the show. So that gentleman said only Norwegian seafaring women, they are about 7%.
And so in that, 92% are the things in the cruise sector and not on board ships.
So they're on the cruise side.
Only 8% are on the on board ship sector. Seafaring.
I
That's
see.
a very huge margin.
See, I had first-hand experience. I was on a cruise ship. It was a beautiful ship, and my chief engineer was a lady, a Norwegian lady, Greta Gunderson. I still remember her, and she was like a role model for me. She was big inspiration. Then she joined Norwegian Statoil and all that, and we lost that. Absolutely fantastic, in terms of the work ethics and hard work. Closing statements. We just have 5 minutes. So, you know what a closing statement is? Closing statement is the punch. All right. You have 1 minute each to put forward your best points. One positive, one negative about seafaring in career. Okay, let's start with
Sir, positives and pros and cons. We have to experience in every industry, but it's different thing to different people. So we can sum up all the negative points into a positive thing, and if the diversity is very good, so we can keep it up and have a healthy shipping ecosystem.
okay, thank you.
I believe shipping focuses on all the aspects of life. So, sir, I believe shipping is something. It has a married career opportunities, and it should be explored definitely, sir. I would personally approve that to everyone that you should obviously get into that sector. And sir, for negative part, I would just have a suggestion, sir. Let go of this gender inequality thing. I think it's high time now that we should let go of this thing. We should consider everyone as individuals and professionals rather than their genders. I don't think there should be an issue, be it anything. Sir, we have been dealing a lot of things for a very long time, and I don't think that has created a problem for any one of us. So, sir, I believe that it's 21st century we are living in, and we still hold on to that very 19th century beliefs. So I think we should let go of that and let the girls fly high and let them be into this sector. I think it's.
You said let them.
So not let them listen to
Who is
them, support
going to
them.
support?
Yes.
Not create obstacles.
That's
Not
it.
create obstacles. You are capable enough to fly high and
Yes.
spread your wings. It's just that the system should not create obstacles.
Yes.
All right, Navneet.
Yes, sir. I'm going to say that we should start this work from the beginning, like from the schools and the colleges. We should ask girls to come here and join this course or promote them or support them individually. Because this is in college, this is the beginning part where they are going to see that yes, there is someone supporting them, and we should promote these things.
Fantastic. Done.
So I would just say like most of the points are already covered. So I'll just say that promote girls, and on the men's side I just say that don't put hurdles. Like we are just asking you to be on equal terms. We are not asking you something more like so on an equal term. We just want you to put any hurdle.
Yeah. So hurdle, actually it's not the men which is causing the
It's
hurdle.
not the
Let's-
men's exactly.
See, now suddenly you have put me in a very defensive position. Okay, so let me see if we have a minute. Yeah, we have a couple of minutes, just 1 minute. So I would like to just say on that, on the hurdle part. What has happened is over the years since shipping or the sailing, rather not shipping, sailing has been quite a difficult sort of force required, or a lot of hard work required, bodily hard work during the times of sailing and rowing, then gradually moving from steamships to diesel ships and all that. But gradually it is becoming more digitalized and more, in terms of somehow reducing the work which is required, bodily work which is required. So why not? Yes. And as we continue to move towards autonomous ships, I can tell you that girls will beat boys hands down, because that is where you require this. And you girls are multitasking. Boys are just one or two tracks they can follow at a time. I would like to thank you. Thanks to all of you. And I must congratulate Indian Maritime University for this sort of perception and the understanding and the awareness. I think that awareness I would like to add on to that and everybody else. Bring about this awareness amongst people in general, right? Not only in the shipping industry, but also your schoolmates earlier when you're growing up, so that everybody feels in the way then we are moving in a unity of direction. That unity of direction is very important. So I would like to thank you once again, Tanya, Navneet, Ekta, and Rohit. Thank you so much.
Thank you
And,
for being such a lovely moderator. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So with that, we finish this session.